So now we're going to be drawing the structural levels for this project. Now in the first step, in order to know how many levels we need to draw, we're just going to go over here and take a look at the project's structural plan. As you can see here, we have a few plans in this file. For example, this one is the foundation plan, where we can also see that it's mentioned that all of the foundation levels offsets are supposed to be negative 14.70. So now we know that our foundation level is supposed to be at negative 14.70, and as we go further down, let's skip this one, we can see that in another plan it says all of the beams levels is supposed to be negative 10.60. So this one's going to be for the second basement. If we go take a look at another one, we can see that it says for the first basement, the beams should be at negative 7.10. Now I've also opened the architectural file. So if we go over to the architectural file and take a look at the plans from elevations, we see one level negative 10.50. One is negative 7, and then we have the ground level 0, and then plus 7. Now this negative 10.50 is actually going to be for the second basement, and if we go take a look at the structural plan, we can see the level for the second basement is negative 10.60. Or for example, for the first basement we have negative 7.10, whereas the architectural plan says only negative 7. So by that we understand that the levels in the structural plan are about 10 centimeters lower than the architectural. Now this could differ in different projects. It could also go up to 15 centimeters of difference, but it's 10 centimeters in this one. Now in this project we've got like 13 levels. We have the foundation as well as the stories and floors. So I've counted them and there's 13 of them. So I'm going to have to draw 13 levels in Revit. Let's go back to the software. And first I'm going to open one of the elevations. And also remember that when you open a new template, your elevations would go under the architecture subdiscipline. So we're going to go over here, open this one, and it makes no difference which one you open. So by default, we have 2 levels in this template. And first I'm going to create the levels and then readjust their names and offsets. I'm going to use the copy command for this. But also here's the thing, you see in Revit version 2025, it makes no difference whether you decide to copy your levels or just use the level tool and draw them manually. If you recall, in the older versions of Revit, if you tried to create and draw your levels, for example like this, it would add the drawn level to the project browser palette. But it makes no difference how you create your levels in version 2025. For example, I've drawn this one and do you see how its header is black? It hasn't been added yet. So whether you copy your levels, give them offsets, or draw them yourselves, you're going to have to add them manually. Now I'm just going to organize this one that I've drawn. And here's this first level. Now I'm going to copy these two. And we said we needed 13, so far we've got 5. Now 7. And I've copied this incorrectly. So let's try it again. I'm going to try to copy more levels now to save time. Now we're going to copy from here to here. Now also, if you get this error, just click on the disassociate button. This error actually happens in version 2025, where you get scope boxes for your grids and levels, so just click disassociate to cancel it. Now by far we've got the 13 levels, only we're going to have to go over here and remove the scope box that Revit put on it, as well as also removing the crop, and remove the crop vision. Now this version 2025 is a bit crowded, just like 2024, but I just don't like how this one looks, so I'm going to go to this window and uncheck the visibility for the scope boxes and the reference planes because I'm not going to be needing them much. So I'll just uncheck a few categories, and now we have a less crowded drawing area. Now let's count the levels to make sure we've got the correct amount. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. We've got 13 levels, and now we're going to need to rename them and give them offsets. We had one negative 14.70 for the foundation, so I'm just going to go over here and type negative 14.7. And once again, click disassociate. So there goes one level. Now what do we name it? Make sure to name your levels pretty accurately. Like for example, you could start with the offset, like what I'm doing here. Then add a slash, and then for its name I'm going to put Foundation. You could either write the names in full or just put the abbreviations. Next, we're going to put the offsets type, which is TOF, top of foundation. So there goes one of our levels. Now let's go check the next one and rename some of them together, and then I'm going to finish them myself. So that means that the finishing part is going to be edited out to save time from repeating the same thing. Now, if you take a look here, you can see that our next level is negative 10.60, which is for the second basement. So here I'm going to put negative 10.6, and once again click disassociate. And as for its name, it's going to have the same template as the previous one. So it goes negative 10.6 slash B2, or just basement 2. Like I said, you could put the names in full, basement 2, then slash again, and now its offset type is TOS. There goes the second level. Now I'm going to stop the video here, then finish the rest of the levels and come back. Alright, so I've created the levels, as in I've renamed them and adjusted their offsets. Now I'm going to have to add the levels to the project browser palette. Okay, so I'm going to go over to the View tab, then drop down Plan Views. And now what do we select? Definitely not Floor Plan. This is actually a structural plan in which we're going to be having structural drawings. So we select Structural Plan. Hold the Shift key, select All, and then click OK. Now as you can see, the levels have been added to the project browser palette. But also here's the thing. You see, when you try to rename these two default Revit levels, they won't be renamed in version 2025. You're just going to have to go back and try renaming them again. So I'm going to go over here and copy this one. Hit Ctrl C. Let's do that again. Select Ctrl C. And then here Ctrl V. There goes one of them, and now this one, select. And paste the name for the second level. Hit Ctrl V. So by far we have created all of the levels we need and added them to the project browser palette. But also try not to forget this one important thing about the version 2025. You see, for example, I'm going to try to align all of these levels ends together, but then I face some trouble, like some of them won't come along, like some of these are 2D and won't work in 3D. Do you see, no matter how much I try, it doesn't work? Okay, so that may be odd to you. But in case you come across this thing, you could just select all your levels, then go over here to the scope box and select None. This is just something that's been added to this new version. Just set it on None, and then I'm going to reselect them all, then select Maximize, and so all of the levels extents will be aligned. So far we have created our structural levels, given them the accurate names, and we've also adjusted their offsets.